Would you like to pay $40,000 for an investment property? The reason I ask you this question is we are in a real estate market with ever increasing prices. On average, you pay about $500,000 for an investment property, and in some cases, you're paying $700,000. This is making it increasingly difficult for first home buyers and or first-time investors to enter the marketplace. And it's also becoming more and more challenging for seasoned investors to keep adding to their portfolio. So you can imagine once you start buying these houses at $500,000 each, you're going to have mortgages over those properties. Therefore, you're going to be highly leveraged or have a lot of debt that you have to service. So then what happens, the rent starts to come in from these properties, mortgages and expenses start to get paid out. And what happens is the expenses and the mortgage usually outstrip or outweigh the rental income coming in. Therefore, the properties are in negative cash flow. So an accumulation of all of those negative cash flow properties means that you have to stay in a full-time job, in a job that allows you to top up that negative cash flow and to service those houses into the future. So that can be quite negative, a negative impact on your portfolio, a negative impact on you psychologically, knowing that you have to be in a full-time job forever to keep servicing those debts on those properties. Now, I was fortunate enough to be able to build an international real estate portfolio, and part of that portfolio was buying in the United States. And that's where you can buy. You can buy a house there for $40,000 with tenants, with the rehab or the renovation completed and done. And you can imagine getting $600 to $700 US dollars per month on a property that costs you $40,000. The impact on that is huge. Here, $400,000 to $500,000. In America, $40,000, and you're getting some incredible cash flow. And it's cash flow that covers the mortgage, would cover any finance on it, would cover any expenses coming out, and then gives you positive cash flow into your bank account or into your back pocket each and every month. So I've really now created enough properties in America now to replace a household income, because that was my goal. That's always been my vision, is to at least replace a household income. I did that back in 2009, and now what it does for me is just support a lifestyle that I appreciate and enjoy. It gives me the freedom and the flexibility to travel around the world, travel to many countries. I spent 5 months in America last year. I went to Asia at the beginning of this year, and then I was back over to America for 2 months in the middle of this year. So it really allows for some incredible freedom and flexibility. And to know that your tenants are positioned, halfway across the world, they're paying rent into your bank accounts, into your US bank accounts, and they're really supporting any sort of lifestyle expenses that you have here in your own country. So very exciting, and it's taken quite a while to get me to this position. However, for somebody else coming in my footsteps, it would take a fraction of the time, because it's all about that person that has sort of been there first and tracked through and made some of the slip-ups and the mistakes and some of those obstacles and overcome them. For somebody else coming through that process, it will take a fraction of the time, because they don't have to go through all of those obstacles and challenges. So before we go any further, I really want to take you back to what drove me into building such a big real estate portfolio. So 1999 became a single parent really through tragic circumstances. So I had a 4-year-old daughter at the time, had to make some decisions about providing stability for her and what sort of direction I was going to take for myself. Did some research, loved real estate, started to buy and renovate locally here in my own backyard, but then started to hear about real estate and opportunities and different real estate markets that occurred in America. Some of those different real estate markets that don't occur here in this country. Things like, foreclosure markets, short sale markets, tax lien markets. So I wanted to explore and investigate a little bit more. Come 2005, I decided to sort of take a leap of faith and go to America and start some research and start to investigate and fly and look at some certain areas in real estate. By 2008, I had decided to buy my first investment property. It was a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and it was renting at $625 per month, US dollars, which is incredible. That's upwards of about 900 Australian dollars per month for a $32,000 investment. So I bought the one house, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and that was September of 2008. And then I decided to take a step back for 12 months because GFC hit just after that, and it sent the markets crazy, and the dollar, it just really went all over the place. It was quite volatile. So that was my opportunity to just step back. And what happened during that time was the rent was consistent. It all worked. That the tenant stayed in the house. The rent came into the bank accounts in US dollars each and every month. And so I thought, this is brilliant. Even during those times of volatility, that was stable. The rent was coming in each and every month. So 2009, I decided to re-enter the market, and I decided to buy a lot more houses, and I have been buying houses ever since. So you can imagine, it's very easily on a $32,000 house, $900 Australian in income, how quickly you can actually replace a household income. The biggest driver for me for creating this business was the fact that I was in a job. I actually left that job in 2005. I've never been back to a full-time job, but 2005 was the tipping point for me. It was a corporate accounting role, so I was an accountant. I was time poor. The pressure and anxiety from having to be the expert, to be up to date in information and legislation, to work with people that sometimes you don't really like or you don't really enjoy working with, and to be in an environment where you're sitting at an office desk in a cubicle, poring over numbers and financial statements. I just literally had enough. My daughter at the time, so this was going back to, but say by 2005, she was 10. I was putting her into childcare, into before school care, into after school care, into vacation care. You can imagine, you're always trying to find some sort of care while you're juggling a full-time position. Your days definitely went from, it wasn't 9 to 5 anymore, it was 6 to 6. And you start to miss out on those milestones that your children make. And I remember saying to myself, I really want to be part of her life and part of her, growing up, and making sure that I see those achievements along the way. So that was a really big driving factor in me creating my own business. It's been able to give me freedom of flexibility beyond everything. So really, really pleased that I'd made that decision. So really, if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about my journey and the possibility of you coming along and really investing in international real estate, I can show you all those steps and really guide you properly on the right path to building something really, really strong and really profitable. So all you need to do is click on this link, the link that's provided here. Click on that link, plug in your email address and your name, and you will receive a book from me outlining strategies and case studies based on houses and areas and neighborhoods that I purchase in. So I would recommend that as your first step, is absolutely clicking on that link, getting that ebook, reading those strategies, having a look at those case studies. And then if you want to find out more, you can contact me on trish@buyingusarealestate.com.au. But more importantly, click on this link now. By providing your name and email address, I can make contact with you and you can make contact with me, read, get an idea. It's a free book, so nothing lost, nothing gained. Just plug in your email address and name, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing you over the other side.